Okay, we're gonna be live. We're going.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. Craig, we skipped ahead. We forgot to skip back. That's my
Oh
bad.
yeah.
there's a teaser there. We are talking round two DFS showdown targets for the 2021 Genesis Invitational. We're off to a roaring start already. Uh, Craig, what's going on? How's it going? What do you think of Rabe so far?
Yeah, man, I think it's a great course. I mean, I think there's lots of talk about number 10, and I don't love it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's too much chance involved. I think that uh, because you really can't hold the green with anything, it takes away the ability to make a good shot, which I think is just kind of stupid. And so, like, and then because even with wedge, you can't hold that green, it totally takes away the possibility of a layup. So, like, the best play is basically to dump it. I mean, either in that front bunker, or like where Brooks Koepka was and has a perfect line running up to the green. So it just
Yeah,
kind of, I'd rather it see like there is a way to hit a perfect shot, or, even just have it so you could stay on that green somehow.
that was the hole that kind of showed me that it's playing firm and fast
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year because it wasn't holding anything. Welcome, guys, to the guys in the chat. Roger, Steven, what's going on? To the people watching it live and to the people watching the rebroadcast, what is up? Make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Looking at the leaderboard after round one, Sam Burns. Should I do my Mr. Burns? Excellent.
Excellent. No, you should never do that again. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't listen to me when I said Garcia was not the Euro underpriced Euro. Matt Fitzpatrick was. But you
Hey, we
you
still
just
got
didn't.
we potentially still got three rounds, but I don't know if Sergio's gonna get those 3 rounds.
Well, yeah, we'll have to see. No, I mean, interesting leaderboard. I thought, some of the guys surprised me. Other ones, not at all. I mean, Cantlay and DJ being up there is, I think, one of the least surprising things based on golf over the last 6 months.
Yeah. Glad to hear some people were successful at their Thursday showdown. Hopefully, we can keep that going for Friday. I think, Greg, when I look at this leaderboard and think about the last couple tournaments and look ahead to tomorrow, there's going to be at least one or two people on this page right here that are going to miss the cut, I suspect.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, especially since scoring can be so volatile here. Like, you can go out
Yeah.
there and make a double or a triple bogey, and all of a sudden you go from being at 3 under to back at even. I also love
Yeah.
how you snuck in one person at -2, and it happens to be Cameron Tringale.
Man, he was the highest on the
Oh, I
PGA
guess he was
leaderboard.
he was the first one in at -2,
Fir-
so that
First
checks
one in.
out.
But yeah, he turned
Um,
it around to a pretty decent round. Obviously, I have him. I have a bunch of guys over 40%. Most of them are doing well. But scoring today, if we want to go over to the next page here, a little bit easier in the morning. Um, actually, I don't remember when I've ever seen a 0.00
yeah,
exactly par.
even par.
Yeah. PM about a half stroke over. So looking ahead at the weather tomorrow, leaning a little bit AM. What are you thinking?
I mean, that weather basically means nothing to me. That's such a minimal amount of wind. To me, it's more, I think, the fact that these greens do play harder in the afternoon. So I'll
Yeah.
lean slightly AM. I'm gonna play guys from across the tee times. I think I might. I'll get into my strategy a bit here once I talk about my plays, but I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I might load up heavily on some guys who are going out early, but then I'm gonna match them. My low owned guys will be from across the spectrum.
Yeah, we got a comment in the chat here. The PM was all JT. I mean, we got a bunch of stars,
It wasn't just JT, yeah.
especially in the afternoon that just kind of fell apart. So we got JT at +6. We have Bryson at +4. Rory's at +2. Where's Morikawa?
I think he's at 2 as well.
Morikawa's
He
at
he
2.
was
So
in the morning, but still.
it's going to be a wild Friday cut line. There's going to be tons of movement. I mean, of those three guys up there, and let's throw in Morikawa as well. Is there anyone else stars you want to include in that?
Well, I mean, there's guys who are, so say it stays at even. I think it could go either way. I think it could go even, it could go +1, it could go -1. I think most likely it's not going to -1 and get unless for some reason the course softens up a bit.
Right.
But uh, you also have Xander and Finau on even par. So if they go out there and shoot
Yes.
over par tomorrow, they easily could miss. So to me, JT is going to have serious work to do. To me, he's a likely miss at this point. I don't think Bryson makes it either, personally.
I I I don't know about Bryson. I think more of those guys will probably make it than we think. Um, I'm not confident in Morikawa. JT's too far back.
Rory's
Yeah,
going to make it for sure.
I'm pretty confident in Rory. I feel like he can scrape together a 300 round. I feel like Dustin had a bad 300 round. I feel like Rory could put a bad
So,
300
and
round.
that's, when we were talking about DJ, I was talking about how heavy I was going on DJ, and because his floor, like I'm pretty happy right now because I faded all these guys. But DJ's floor,
Yeah.
like he wasn't playing well, and then somehow like strung together a few good holes and got his way to -3. Like that's exactly where DJ's at right now. His bad is pretty okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think DJ is the tournament long play. I think we'll get into our picks here, but I think probably in Showdown people are going to go, crazy towards DJ for Showdown, and so I think I'll
Yeah.
pivot a bit
Yeah.
from that now. Like I've got a lot of DJ stake for the tourney long, so I think I'll try to go a little bit contrarian up at the top,
Yeah.
but we'll get into that.
Do you want to get into that right now? Do you want to talk some strategy, or should we just jump
Well,
into our
so
picks and
what do
talk
you think?
strategy as we
You What
go?
about Morikawa? You're just gonna
No,
hedge on that?
he was my fade. He was my fade.
So you
We
say he's out?
in our picture. He's out. I didn't really love what I saw from him. Like the birdies he had early in his round were 2 foot, like classic Morikawa, sticking his irons because he's
Yeah,
one
I
of the
hate
best
it when
iron players
guys
in the
do
world.
that. It's it's just a
But
bad
like
sign.
I don't think he gave me any confidence in 8 footers, 10 footers, 12 footers.
Yeah,
That I think you need to make here to either save par or get those birdies.
yeah, yeah. I think he's gonna
Bryson,
have
I
work.
feel
I
like
mean, he
Bryson could have
could
done
do
that
it,
though.
but I don't see Bryson or JT doing it.
Uh, Before we got in here, there's a couple questions about JT as a showdown play. Are you going there at all?
I won't. I don't think JT's in a good place right now. I think
I,
mentally he's like maybe it is narrative, but I do think that he's just not mentally super into it right now. Um,
yeah, I don't think he's hyper focused.
I think it's going to be a very, very exciting cut line tomorrow, though.
Yeah,
I forget, I didn't count at the end of the day, but there's something like 60 guys within a stroke of the cut. Um,
right.
so,
Like going from minus
from
one to +1, right?
yeah, so where the cut line is right now.
Yeah,
So, like half your DFS lineups are going to be in total flux as this plays out.
yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, I don't really think there's. I mean, 18 is a possible birdie. I haven't seen where the pins are, but maybe 9. It's tough coming in. Like you don't think people are going to sprint to the finish here.
No, I mean, yeah, it's not an easy course. Like that's the reality of it. Sam Burns managed to go out there and shoot as 7 under, but we had a couple 5 unders, and then best players in the world struggled with it. So
Yeah. Okay,
gives you
let's
an
jump
idea.
into it.
Yeah,
Let's do
let's
it.
get into it.
So the thing that popped out to me, Craig, when looking at the leaders on the leaderboard so far, is that everyone in the top 18 on Thursday was positive around the green. So when I'm looking at, so there's many things I'm looking at for round two showdown, but I do want to see guys that either through their career, through the last couple of years, or through the past 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is, are good around the green players, because I feel like that is important to either go up and down for birdie par five, save a par, whatever it is. So my three, I am leaning a little bit on that for my 3 picks. Starting, I mean, and I'm also going balanced here. So starting in the middle, I guess. My first pick, Scottie Scheffler, 7,900. He went 67 today. I really liked his round today. 4 under, 1 eagle, 3 birdies, a bogey. Just exactly what I want to see with someone of his talent. He's 13 strokes gained TD green over 3, 30 strokes gained putting 1.13. great. I mean, not like unbelievable putting where it's not sustainable, but really good putting that he could sustain for the rest of the tournament and just continue to kind of climb up the leaderboard.
Hmm.
Um, he actually ranks 16th on the PGA in driving accuracy, 70% for the season. He hit 6 of 14 in round one for 42%. So an area to improve on his strokes gained tee to green, on his approach. Everything kind of comes together off the tee. It is harder fairways to hit. So there's a little asterisk there, but he's not one of these kind of bombers that just spray it. He is very, very precise with his driver. And lastly, I got a couple plays around here, but I think he is a good pivot, especially if you load up in this area off Burns. Like that 7 under is not sustainable. I have Burns at 40% in tournament long, so I love to see it. But in Showdown, I stay away from those kind of guys.
Yes,
I stunned you. I stunned you. It's
well,
amazing.
no, I'm trying to think about. So I worry about the ownership with Scottie Scheffler, but at 7,900, it just seems like it's too good of a price. So
Yeah,
for me, it's a little bit
ownership will be there.
ownership be damned. I'll go there. Um, it'll attract. I mean, even if he didn't play that well, I think it would attract ownership. Like I think he's just the talent for that price is good. So yeah, I like the play. I just don't know. My struggle is, am I going to go 50% of my lineups with Scottie? Probably not, but I'll probably have him over 25%. So yeah, I mean that kind of gives you. I like the play. It's just how much do I like it?
Yeah, we got a comment here: 3 birdies, 2 eagles, 3 bogeys, 1 double bogey. I'm not sure who's that referring to, but I double checked Scotty's scorecard. That is what he had: an eagle, 3 birdies, and a bogey. So
We also got some troll in the chat talking about me being speechless.
are you able to ban him? I don't know if that's possible.
So my first play, I'm just really strained from my normal plays here. I'm going with Xander Schauffele, 10,000. So Adam's gonna give me flack here for my first two picks, and you'll see why in a second. But to me, essentially, I'm gonna go ham on Xander tomorrow. I'm gonna have him in like potentially, definitely over 50% of my lineups. So round one, he was even par, 5 birdies, 3 bogeys, and a double. He hit one out of bounds, or it was either out of bounds or a lost ball. I actually don't know. I just know he was hitting 3 off the tee.
Right.
So you look at his strokes gained numbers, and it's kind of reflected there. Basically, he did even without that, he still would have lost off the tee. But it's reflected that he had a huge loss there, and other than that, it was typical Xander golf. But I mean, Xander's just playing so well right now. He's
Yeah.
gained at least 3 strokes per round in 7 of his last 11 rounds. So I'm not
Strokes
talking about
gained.
him gaining.
Strokes
So
in
he's
total.
strokes gained total. So he's been
Yeah.
over 3 strokes better than the field in 7 of his 11 rounds. So I mean, that's even at the Waste Management, the average round might have been 1 under, 2 under, or whatever it was, but he was still 3 strokes better than that in a bunch. Like he's just playing so good that
Yeah.
I kind of have to keep bringing it up because to me it still plays. Like I don't want people to think I'm not still hammering this. And so just to, why, like I'm not super worried about the off the tee. Yes, even more than just that one where he lost ball or out of bounds. He's gained strokes off the tee in 16 of his last 20. A lot of those he's gaining over a full stroke off the tee. So I have no concern about that. We got Xander going off early tomorrow, so he'll get the polo greens on the best
Yeah.
in the best condition. It'll be the best scoring condition the golf course will be in. So I'm gonna hammer it, and I think DJ will attract some ownership more than he has, and so I just don't see it. I don't see a downside to it.
Yeah, I'm going Xander. I mean, of course I'm going Xander. He's one of the best players in the world. I guess, spoiler alert, are you also going to talk about Willie Z as your second pick and then a sleeper Batia as a late entry into round 2 for your third pick? I don't know.
I don't know.
No. But X is so solid. Yeah, of course I'm going there. I don't know how many lineups I'm going to play yet. This is the closest we've had the end of the round to our show yet, I think, this year. So still trying to figure that out, but absolutely playing Xander without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, that thanks for clarifying that I'm forgetting his first name now, but that round from Kim where he got the ace, he got the eagle from the bunker, he won the car, he won the Genesis, I think, in the Korean PGA to get the invite here. Awesome story, like amazing story. A couple of great stories. Willie Mack was another good story from Thursday
Yeah.
as well. I hope he makes the cut
I hope he makes the cut too. I hope he makes the cut and makes some noise.
and makes some money, man.
Yeah.
Okay, my second pick here. I said I like a couple plays in this range. Russell Henley, 7,900. So exact same as Scottie Scheffler. I put him second, so he's my 1B, I guess, my 1B pick. But I think if you go Scottie Scheffler and Henley, that is contrarian by leaving Burns out in that range. So that's what I'm thinking there. So 69, 200, 5 birdies, 3 bogeys. He gained everywhere. He's so good with his irons lately. Like his approach is spot on, but he gained everywhere except for around the green. He was minus 0.76, 87th in the field. Not really, really low, but I think he can turn around. He has been really good kind of last 2 years, last year, last 6 months, last 3 months. They're all positive. He's been positive, I think, I want to say 9 of his last 12 tournaments around the green, 0.28 in his last 6 months. So I think if he can kind of refine that, get a little bit better, maybe familiar with the grass, like I think he can do better. And then just looking at
He
his
just needs
Riviera,
to get in there and just get familiar with the grass.
familiar with the grass. Oh yeah, this is different grass.
The Kikuyu.
Yeah. At Riviera, this is why I think he's an interesting showdown play. So last 13 rounds, 7 of them, this includes today's round, 7 of them at 69 or better, and then 5 at 73 or worse. So he is, I mean, that's a great showdown play because you want to go low. You want to go really low. That par round doesn't do much for you in a showdown. So this is a guy that can absolutely go low or he can blow up. And I'm fine with that. I'm going to take the chance on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of FOMO because I kept Russell Henley out and decided to concentrate. This is tourney long. Decided to concentrate my ownership on Carlos Ortiz in that price range. So I kind of wish I had left some of that with Russell, but I think he's a great showdown play. I think he illustrated it there at the very end with how much. I mean, it doesn't really matter if he's going to shoot 71 or 73. It doesn't matter as so much as his potential to go out there and shoot 69 or better. Like that's what we want out of our showdown plays.
Absolutely. We want that upside. We want that GBP kind of potential winning upside.
Yeah, we're looking for the ceiling. And speaking of looking for the ceiling, my next play here, I'm going back to Rory McIlroy.
Middle of the pack pick here.
Last time it was the final round at Waste Management, and I was telling you guys play Rory McIlroy. The biggest problem to me is this price is just absolutely absurd. He comes in 9,400 on DraftKings. Yes, he is 2 over 73 through 1 round. He went 2 birdies, 4 bogeys. But to me, it's Rory McIlroy. I brought this one up last time, and it was pretty easy to add on to it. But last time it was 9 of his last 14. He had gained at least 3 strokes in the field. And then that round, he proceeded to go out there and do it. So it's now 10 of his last 15. I guess today, after today, it would be 10 of his last 16. But still, it's just these guys like Rory and Xander, they just have such a high percentage of their rounds they go crazy low on the field, and so they're clear showdown plays to me. Even if he's 25%, 30% owned tomorrow, I'm cool with that. So I'm going to be hammering. I'm probably going to go Xander Rory. Start with both of those guys for a lot of my lineups tomorrow. If you want the narrative, the Cut Street narrative with Rory, he's got 25 consecutive cuts going right now. The guy in second has 21. Any guesses?
21 cuts in a row. Ugh. I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. Xander, your other boy.
You got it.
Is that right?
Yeah. Of course it's Xander. I was going to bring up a fun fact. Of course it's going to be Xander. As far as what he did today, he lost on approach. He lost putting. To me, it's just more. I mean, Rory's going to go out there and he might go out there and he might put up a stinker and miss a cut. But I think his chances of going out there and just absolutely torching this and ending up at, -3, maybe he goes -5 on the round, ends up at -2 or -3 or minus. There's just such a high chance of it happening that I'll take those chances.
first off, the price of 9,400 is absurd, absolutely absurd. I'm playing Rory at 9,400. That he should not be priced for that in any way for any golf
If he's
tournament.
playing left-handed, maybe.
Yeah, in any way. We got a question here. What's the cut number from Nick? The cut number, that's a couple ways you could answer that. The cut number is the top 20 or top 65 and ties make it through to the weekend. It is a moving target despite of what the announcers will probably say tomorrow. So it could be anywhere where the top 65 and ties is. It's going to move all the way, probably late on Friday. It will move and kind of solidify there. But
yeah, and if you want, Nick, if you want a good way of following that, go over to Data Golf tomorrow, and they essentially run Monte Carlo simulations, and they'll tell you, like, there's a 40% chance it stays at even, there's a 20% chance it falls to +1, and whatever's left over, 40% chance it moves to -1. But yeah, it'll be... The cut will be at, I think, one of those three. It'll be even, -1, or +1. And I think most likely it's looking like even or +1, just based on how it played today.
Yeah.
Okay, last one, Adam.
Okay, third and final pick. If there's anybody in our Discord channel that's watching live right now, they're probably having a little smirk on their face. I was stressing Sergio all day. I sent some GIFs. I sent some memes. I sent some screenshots of his round. I was sweating all the way from his 5-foot missed birdie putt on 1 to his 44-yard hole out for eagle on 10. It was a roller coaster round. But Sergio Garcia is 7,400. He's +1 right now at 72. 1 eagle, 1 birdie, 4 bogeys. So why am I going here? Why am I going to Sergio? It didn't look good. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't look good. So first off, he was in Texas. Just like Answer, he got late. He got into late to Riviera. I don't know how late or when. I don't even know if he had a practice round. I don't think that matters too much. I think that might affect round 1. Hopefully it doesn't affect round 2. Like if he really wants to go back to his family, maybe he does just eject. I don't know. Sergio could do that. But that could affect his round 1. So I think he can turn around tomorrow. So 42nd stroke staying tee to green +1.04. 105th stroke staying putting -1.8. That's kind of what you can get with Sergio sometimes. I'm not too worried about that. If that goes to -0.5, he's going to have a better round. Here's the thing, though. He hit 3 of 14 fairways, 21%. Tied for 116th in the field. Like, that's awful. That is awful. He is a much better player than that. 7,400 is... I'm
still waiting for you to tell me why we should...
He has 6 top 25s at Riviera. He has 3 top 6s. He has gained 0.76 strokes around the greens in the past 3 months. I talked about Sergio a lot on our live show Wednesday night. He was 2nd stroke in total, or tee to green, in his last tournament, 8th to tournament before that on the European Tour. He's high risk, high reward. I think, like, potentially pretty low owned because people got burned by him a little bit today. They're not sure what Sergio they're going to get. I'm going to go in and I think he makes a move at least to make the weekend. But at 7,400, there's not many guys that could go out and shoot 66 at Riviera, and he absolutely can.
It's the classic Adam double down. I think to me the crux of why to play him is that 7,400 with the high upside. Like that's Sergio has the upside. We all know he has the upside. I don't think he's going to attract, like, he'll get ownership, but I don't think he's going to attract much ownership. So to get him at that price, maybe? I don't even think it will. Like, people don't like Sergio as well, so his ownership stays lower because of it. I think it's an upside play, and it can burn you. But like we were saying with some of these other guys, like, it doesn't matter if it burns you. It just matters if the probability of the upside hitting and what the upside is. To me is why I think there's value there. But with the caveat, the disclaimer that Adam has a sunk cost here, so you want this to happen as well.
I absolutely want this to happen. I am kind of doubling down. That's exactly right. I think it is high risk. I also, like you said, it is high reward though.
Yeah. My last one here, it's a guy, I can't even remember how much we brought him up, but I know we brought him up recently. Matthew NeSmith comes in 6,800. 1 under through his first round, 2 birdies, bogey, fairly clean scorecard. To me again, this is a recent form play. We've just seen him play
Yeah.
really well in the last few tournaments. He's gained strokes. So as opposed to Xander and Rory, where I'm talking about them gaining over 3 strokes, he's not quite as good as they are. So that's just the reality of it. But he's
Yeah.
gained strokes in 9 of his last 12 rounds. And I think importantly, the thing that he's doing most impressively has been his approach play, his ball striking, but specifically his approach play has been really
Yeah.
good. And when we were talking about him as a play coming into this tournament, that's what I had highlighted, is that his approach play has been great. He's got 11 straight rounds where he's been positive on approach,
Yeah.
quite a few where he's been almost a full stroke that he's gaining on approach. You look at what he did today. He did play in the morning, and he goes out
Right.
late. So one of the reasons I'm hammering on Xander and Rory is I think both of them are going out in perfect scoring conditions. But NeSmith is the opposite. I think he's actually in the last tee time of the day. So he's
Oh,
not
okay.
going out in
Interesting.
ideal. He's not going out in ideal conditions, but
Mhm.
I think he's a ball striker that has upside. He's also one of these guys that can pop, and he can go
Yeah.
on. He can get birdie streaks. He can make low scores in a hurry.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
this is the type of play, like, I'm going to build my lineups around Rory and Xander. NeSmith is an example of the type of guy that I'm going to sprinkle in along with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
and
love.
sorry, just last thing real quick. That price range, Alex Noren and Wyndham Clark are both. So
Yes.
it's also a pivot play. Both those guys
Great
are at
pivot.
-4. I think Noren's at 69 and Clark is at 68. I might have gotten those backwards, but both of them are right there
Yeah.
in the same price range, and I think ownership will go to those guys.
I think a great pivot. I'm glad you pointed that out because pivots. I mean, showdowns is largely about the pivots, and I think that's a great pivot. I love the chatter about Sergio. Um, yeah, put it on me tomorrow if he blows up and misses a cut. Put it on me. I'm fine with that. I'll carry that weight. In terms of tee times, Scheffler is out in the second group tomorrow morning. Henley and Sergio are late morning wave, and I really like the late morning wave. Not as early, not as chilly,
They
like
can have
that
their
morning.
coffee. They can,
Yeah,
go through the
they
normal.
don't have to wear the toque for the first 4 holes, like Scheffler might have to. I'm gonna say toque. I'll say toque any chance I get.
Yeah, if you don't know what that means, then look it up.
Yeah, NeSmith. I don't know. I'm lukewarm. I like
Yeah.
that as a pivot though. I don't know. I don't really know if there's a necessity to go down to the 6Ks tomorrow.
No, I don't think so. But I will. It's about upside, and I think there's a lot of good plays in the low sevens as well. I
Yeah.
think, to me, this is. I'm not going to have. Maybe I'll have 25% on him, something like that. But it's more. This is an example of the guys that I'm looking for down in that range. Guys with upside that.
All strikers.
I'm not going to play Alex Noren or Wyndham Clark. There's some attraction there just because I think he's a good fit for this course. I heard a lot of chatter about him coming
Yeah.
in as a fit for this
Yeah.
course. But just because of how much ownership they'll get for their potential upside, I don't know if I'm there on those guys. But I want the guys who are low owned with upside, and I think NeSmith will be one of them.
Tomorrow is going to be a great round of golf. Let us know in the chat who you're sweating to make the cut. Craig and I kind of talked about Corey Connors is the one that I'm a little bit worried about. Finau, I have a ton of stake in Finau. Finau needs to do something tomorrow. But I mean, we have so many of the top guys in the world playing on one of the best courses, and it's playing firm and fast. Anything can happen. Bryson can go 6 under. Bryson can go 6 over. I love it.
Just real quick, Joe Money. I don't think the tee times are as big a concern as other weeks. I just think that it was a zero point 0.4 edge today, but I think that was in large part just how bad the people who, like, the stars in the later wave, played just really bad, and so they collectively could have brought that scoring down a few tenths. I think the weather doesn't concern me. It's just the slight bumpiness of the POA as it gets later in the day. Myron, I almost plugged in Molinari as a pick here. I like him a lot. I think they were saying that this is his new home course.
Yeah,
I
it is.
think I don't know if people are ready to get back on the horse after last week, so maybe his ownership stays. It's always harder, I think, after. I would have liked to get a little bit of him turning long because I think people stayed away from him. I'll get there a little bit though.
His history at Riviera, though,
Is
I'm
not
pretty sure
good.
it is not good.
And that's
So
why I didn't get there a week long.
I'm a little bit hesitant with Molinari too. Maybe I might want to see 2 rounds and then maybe go Saturday showdown if he's around. Mackenzie Hughes eagled the first, or yeah, number one. He played one of the first groups out there.
Hmm.
I think he stayed around there. A lot of guys, the scoring. Well, again, the scoring early looked pretty easy. Um, I don't know.
But it was sort of like, I think it looks easy because they're scoring holes, especially those guys that start on one. They get scoring holes, and then it gets hard, and there's a lot of ways you can make bogey out there. So I just think I don't think it's going to be one of these showdowns where it's going to be a horse there's not going to be
Yeah,
as many birdies as we see some weeks.
yeah.
Someone had asked about Rom. I like Rom. I just think that Rom and DJ, just because of how today played out, I think DJ and Rom and Cantlay
Yep.
will attract a lot of ownership up in the top range. So that's why I'm looking at Xander and Rory. I think
Yeah, I think it's
Xander
fair.
especially is going to still attract ownership, and then Rory at 9,400. So it's tough to know. I still think Rom will attract a lot of ownership.
Matt Jones, we talked about him on our Wednesday night show. He's been playing so well. If you go to our DFS model, you can see his strokes gained the last kind of like 8
Mhm.
tournaments. I think he's got a cut streak of. He's been playing really well. I didn't see too closely what he did today. I think he's 2 under or three under.
He's one of my biggest
Oh, he's 4 under.
Yeah, he's one
So
of my biggest FOMOs so far this tournament. I almost picked him today, so I do like him tomorrow.
but my one concern though, he has gained 3.7 strokes putting, second best only to Adam Scott. That's not sustainable. His ball striking needs to
Or,
improve.
I mean, who are both those people you were just talking about? Australians in LA, close to the Pacific Ocean on POA. It all checks
Man,
out.
can we get Cam Davis to putt plus 3.8 tomorrow? Come on.
um, I agree. Obviously, it's always a little concerning. You don't want to hang your hat on a guy gaining 3 strokes again on the greens. But I do like Matt Jones. I'll plug him in as I think he's at like 6,600 or something as well. I'd
Ooh.
have to look it up.
Yeah,
But
that's
he's
super
cheaper than
enticing.
he should be. There's some prices
Yeah.
just really shocking me. And then Carlos Ortiz, I want to say is 8,500. It's just like, are you joking me here?
Ortiz to make a cut would be nice. I didn't get a ton. I think I got 20% in tourney log, but um I guess that's around field average. So if he makes it, if he misses it, I'm kind of with the field either way.
Yeah, and Myron, I'm stoked on Homa. I'd love to see him contend here, maybe take it home.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see him live.
If you listen, I don't know if you're. I'm still a few podcasts back on his. I feel like I'm perpetually playing catch up. But this is the course and the tournament that he would like go to as a kid and watch. So
Right.
it'd be
Okay.
so cool for him to win this tournament. And he was in contention here last year.
Splitting hairs on ownership. Yes and no. I think when you look at guys like Burns, they'll get way more than they probably should. This is to Joe Money here. Anyone can shoot low tomorrow. Absolutely. This is golf. This is why I think we're all fans and we all love watching it. Um, I don't even know who's in last, but they could go out
Yeah,
and shoot
so I
74.
think the biggest ways, like if you want to take the risk on JT, maybe Bryson, like those guys will be low owned. It's more like I think once we're later
Yeah.
in the week, like last week, or sorry, at Waste Management, Rory was 6 or 7% in the
Yes.
final day, and
Yes. Yeah.
that's really what we're talking about when we're talking about the low owned. That also is when finishing position comes into play, and I think people overreact to it. But regardless, I do think I'm splitting hairs a bit on the ownership thing. But if I can look for a reason to play Xander and Rory, I'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, you can play any of the guys over 9,500, and they all have a good chance to go low tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so if that wasn't clear, Nick, so the cut happens after the second round. So Bryson and JT they'll have tomorrow's round to try to get to the cut line, and then at that point there's just a single cut. At times there used to be a cut after the third round, but they've gotten away from that. So it'll
Yeah.
just be a single cut tomorrow. I have a hard time seeing JT getting there, but Bryson will have a shot at it.
Yeah, I can see Rory being chalked tomorrow. Absolutely.
Adam Long, I haven't looked at. I agree, Burrow, and that's where maybe you pivot off of Rory. I'm gonna hammer it personally.
You don't care.
I mean I should let you know Rory is like the golfer I'm probably the biggest fan of. So that definitely biases. I still think he's the second. I still probably think he's the most talented golfer. But if not, it's him and DJ right at the top. It's just his form hasn't been there for the last 6 months, 8 months.
Okay,
So
Craig,
take those rose-colored glasses into account.
As we wrap up here, any like last question or like what do you want to leave it with? If you're watching, thumbs up, subscribe, do all those good things, comment. But any questions to leave it with here?
Who is your rally to make the cut guy? Like, who do you think comes from 3, 4, something like that?
Let me take a look. I mean, I got plays at
It always
1.
happens. It always happens.
I like Sergio and Corey Connors at 1. Obviously, Rory at 2. I don't know if there's much around here. You know what? Okay, I'll give you a long shot here, Craig.
Yeah.
Let's go Doc Redman, who finished +3 to make the cut tomorrow.
Okay.
I could go Ortiz, but that doesn't interest me. Let's go Doc Redman to make a cut.
Okay, I'll take James Hahn.
Where is he at right now?
He's at +3 as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Good luck tomorrow. We will be on tomorrow again, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So come join us then.
And if you're not already there, check out the Discord. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Good luck.
Yeah. See you guys.